Put a finger down if your entire life you choose men based off of what needs you have at the time and what you feel like they can meet, and how you think you're so in love with them and everything's going good until it isn't. You get heartbroken in the end, and you're trying to put the pieces of your heart back together, and so you swear off of men and you go on a celibacy journey, and then you break that celibacy journey, go back to the same situations, and then you go back on another journey, and you're like, no, I'm doing it for real this time. I am literally so disgusted. I'm so off of men. And then you're like, you know what? Let me call him at one time in the morning, whatever, because I done went to the club and I done had some tequila shots. Boom, broke my journey. Now I'm back another year later. Okay, you know what? Now I found God. God, you know what? For real, I'm locking in with you this time. And I am going to take a vow of abstinence. I'm not having sex until I'm married. You do that for a year and some change, only to repeat the same cycle all over again. Hi, my name is Egypt, and welcome to my channel. This video is for the girls who choose wrong every single time. Me. At this point, I'm not choosing. Guys, you got to do the picking, okay? Today is bittersweet. Today is definitely a bittersweet day for me. Today would have been 2 years since I took my vow of abstinence. In 2023, I, kind of changed my life around. And y'all have even made some notice to me in the comments, telling me like, hey, girl, I love the self-growth. I love the self-improvement. I've just been on a journey and focusing on being the best version of myself, the highest healed version of myself, just pouring love into me. So 2023, I was like, you know what? I'm cutting the men off. I wasn't even really dating. I'm not like a person who dates multiple people. You know what I mean? So I am, but it's also just I kind of slowed down because it's I don't find people that I like often. And so before, when I was dating multiple people and I had a whole roster, and it's I had this person to do this for me, I had this one to do this. For one, your girl be tired, okay? Baby, pouring your energy into different places and different men and all that stuff, it's very stressful and it's very tiring because it's I gotta make time for me, I gotta pour into me. It's a lot, okay? So I don't know how these men do it. Shout out to you. But it just became to one of those things where I started realizing I don't want to be able to hold on, let me be very clear, God, because I know you listening. I want to be able to call people that I can depend on and hey, do this for me, XYZ, but I don't want to have to call all these people. I want one man that I could depend on, that I can pour into, that can pour into me, that we can have a partnership, that we can build a life together. Ultimately, that is what I crave, right? And so once I got to that realization, and once I got baptized and I was like, you know what, I'm walking with God, I realized I need to cut people off. So I cut people off. I block numbers cold turkey. People what's wrong with her? Then they see me on Instagram, oh, she getting baptized. And people would make little jokes. And that's how I knew I shouldn't have been dealing with some of them to begin with. Because oh, you a woman of God now? Oh, you getting married? Oh, you getting baptized? All this stuff. And it's you got an issue with me trying to get my life together? When you start elevating and getting your life together, people don't like that. They don't like the new version of you that you're becoming because they like the control and the power and the attachment that they have to the old version of you. It just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I want more than surface level. I want a deeper connection. If we're not working towards that, or you ain't giving me that, you're not feeding that, boom, cut it off cold turkey. So I cut everybody off, okay? And so I was focusing on me, pouring into me. I was doing my content on, blowing up on TikTok and Instagram and being consistent and all of those things. I was meeting people during this time frame where I was focused. I was meeting people. I even went out on a few dates with people, but it's every time I was going out with people or I was meeting people, I could almost sense the spirits on them, or I could almost sense discernment. When you locked in and you walking with God and you focused in your purpose, you have discernment, right? Where you can sense and you can tell immediately, like, baby, this ain't gonna work. You ain't the one. You ain't it for me. You only coming to distract me. You only coming to pull me away from what I'm supposed to be doing. And so basically, I was just like, I would go on a date with somebody and I'd be like, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm finna go. Like, it was that type of situation. A year and a half later, I started getting kind of antsy, maybe. I wasn't like super in a place where I was antsy. Okay, hold on, because I don't know how y'all talk, but like antsy in my language where I'm from is kind of like you getting like fidgety, like you getting kind of like weary, like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, Lord, can you send a tracking number? Where is my man, my baby? Like, where is he at? Like, you know, so I kind of started getting to that point, but I was not fully at that point because I was keeping myself busy. So April, I ended up meeting this man. Okay, well, I ain't gonna give dates because listen, when I pop out married next year, I don't need y'all trying to be mathematicians and add up dates and stuff. Okay, so I ended up meeting this man the beginning of the year. Met him, and let me tell y'all, everything, like, I'm not even saying this to be like on no delusional anything. Like, I'm very direct when I talk to God. I be very specific. I say certain things. When I tell you everything that I wrote down to God, like, this is what I want in a man, on the surface at least, he was that. Even how I said I wanted to meet my husband, I said it jokingly. I was like, my husband gonna have to knock on my door. It was that. You know what I'm saying? So when I met this man, he was already fine, attractive. I was already instantly attracted, but I was just like, the attraction don't be enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, throughout this year, I done been going out with people and it's like, yeah, I be attracted to them, but like, so what? I'm not, for me, I crave past a surface level connection, right? Or surface attraction, whatever. So I ended up meeting him. He came to do business in my house, basically. We met on like some business type stuff. He came to do a project for me. And so I met him, and like the way that it happened was I ended up buying a defective piece. And so he was here for like 4 hours that day. Something that would have took like 30 minutes took him like almost 4.5 hours because we didn't know that the piece that I brought was defective. So we were sitting here trying to figure it out. But the whole time that we was here, we were just having conversation. And I'm like, it sound crazy, y'all. I'm not delusional, I promise. I'm not delusional. Anyways, but it just was like a movie. Like, I'm just like, this is a script out of a movie. Like, you have some wonky little, like, something happens and all of a sudden we're like talking and it's like we've known each other for our entire lives and like, oh, he's so dreamy. Like, it was like that type of situation. He came back the next day to complete the project because I had to switch out the defective item. He comes back the next day. The project should take like 30 minutes. He stays for an hour because we're just chatting. We look up like, oh dang, we talking, and I could tell. I'm like, it's the vibe all the time. Like, that's how I felt. At least now I can't say the same. Men, I never approach men. I never reach out to men, whatever. I'm like, this is business. It could go one or two ways. He could be completely like just disgusted and like, I don't mix business with pleasure, you know what I'm saying? Or it could be like on some, I wanted to, but because we started business, I couldn't cross that path. But since you did, you know, so basically I was having my housewarming coming up, and I just very politely, because I do believe that you can give a man a green light. We ain't chasing no man. I'm not never chasing no man, but I believe you could give a man a green light. And because we started off as business, I need to let him know he had the green light to be personal. So I just invited him to my housewarming. I was like, hey, if you're not doing anything, you know, I'm having a housewarming this day, whatever, you can pull up, blah, 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 get some food. You know, once he takes that plate. Girl, you know. So anyways, okay, I'm getting beside myself. Let me get back on topic here. Long story short, me and this guy, we started hanging out. We started getting to know each other, and you know, over the course of all these months, whatever, and it's like now it's to the point where I am feeling like I like this person a lot, but it's not even surface level. I like instantly from day one, I was like, dang, this man's brain, like your mindset, your mind, your drive, your ambition, your determination, like, baby, I could keep going on. I'm just like, wow. Like, I'm sitting here just seeing all these things, talking to him. Like, I'm like, wow, like I don't meet people, like the people who I have always met and who I meet, I've never met nobody that just had like, it was just mind blowing. I'm like, dang. So then I start like maybe falling into lust, because at this point now I'm thinking I'm already physically attracted to you, but physical attraction is never enough for me. But I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm already physically attracted to you, but now that I'm getting to know you, now I am mentally attracted to you, and that's where you got me. We end up falling into lust, and I'm not happy about it. I'm not proud about it. We both agree, like, I didn't even have to be the one to be like, we ain't doing this no more. Like, it was kind of like a mutual thing where we both knew, like, nah, like, we're both trying to be abstinent, whatever. I was like, I like that. Like, that kind of, that flesh kicked in, and it was like, dang, I want this man more. But at the end of the day, I know what I was supposed to be doing to begin with. And it's just so many reservations and things that even now I'm thinking back about it, because it's like, when you're a high value ticket and you're a high value item, taking yourself off of a certain shelf to put yourself on a lower shelf, because it's like, if I'm being honest with y'all, this man had no commitment to me, but he didn't have to commit, because I couldn't even keep my commitment to myself. When I said I wasn't gonna have sex till I was married, look at me. Soon as I found this situation, checking the boxes, and now I'm stimulated mentally. I haven't been mentally stimulated in years. Now I'm ready to throw some draws at him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, how can you expect people to commit to you and just treat you a certain way when people look at how you treat yourself? I learned so much from this situation, right? I learned so many things. For one, you gotta have self-integrity. You have to keep your word to yourself. And it's easy to be, it was so easy to be abstinent for over a year. It was so easy when you're not faced with the thing that you want, right? Like, it's so easy to be like, okay, yeah, these men attractive, they take me here, they do this, they do that, but I don't like you. Like, it's so easy for me to keep my legs closed and be like, I don't want you, no, I'm good. But the moment that you get like what you actually want or what you actually like, that's when a real temptation comes in. And I really learned, like, going forward, just how to handle certain things. Like, you have to stay vigilant. You cannot ever get comfortable. Like, I think it had got to a point where I was very comfortable, where I was just like, man, the longer I went abstinent, the more I was like, man, I got this in the bag. I'm telling you, I was bragging like, man, can't nobody knock me off my square. Can't get no coochie out the queen. I was like kind of bragging on it, and unknowingly, and this is why I be telling people, you got to remain humble, because God has a way of humbling you. Unknowingly, I also was kind of like judging people, because I would just be like, why are you having sex when you're not married? Like, ugh. But now look at me. Now I'm sitting here doing a whole video about it, you know? So it's just kind of like, when you start saying, I will never, and it'll never be me, God will show you very well how it can be you, you know? God also showed me, like, my heart posture. It no longer was about remembering why I took the vow in the first place. The moment that I got that I saw what I thought I wanted, or what I thought was for me, I literally was like, that goes out the windows. Here I am. You know? And so I basically made this man an idol, and I basically didn't keep my word to myself, didn't keep my word to God, did what it is that I wanted to do for the sake of having a certain level of intimacy with this person. And it's like, for what? If I had a time machine, I would definitely go back in time. At the end of the day, look at how much I lost off of one decision. When I sit back and I count the cost of a few moments versus look at what came from that. Like, we're friends, we cool, but it's like I literally went against the grain for this. Falling into lust and stuff like that, it's just kind of like, was it really worth it at the end of the day? I don't think so. You have to always keep your word, operate in your value. Like, I learned so many lessons from this. I feel like sometimes you need a reminder. I'm not happy this situation happened. However, I do not beat myself up. I do not, you know, sit and just ruminate about like, oh my gosh, this happened, you did this to me. Like, I'm not a victim. You know, we were both willing participants. You know, we had a long discussion, and like, it just is what it is, child. Who cares? Lust ruins lives, okay? That is like the biggest, like, if we look at like R. Kelly, Diddy, like people that's just in jail right now because y'all just want to be nasty and just do all this weird stuff. It's like, that comes from a deep place of lust. And it's like, I just realized from this situation, you have to get lust under control, and you may not ever be able to control it, but how you flee from that, how you get away from that is just by having self-discipline, just by, you know, having a little bit more discipline. To be honest, discipline is the answer to a lot of stuff in life. And personally, I feel like for me going forward, I'm just going to stay vigilant. I'm not going to put myself in certain situations. Like, there's no reason why, when you know you attracted to me and I'm attracted to you, and you know what the flesh want, I'm just not gonna have you to my house. We're not doing certain stuff. You're not coming over at this time. Like, just certain things. So, although this did happen, sometimes those mess ups be necessary for you to wake up, gain some wisdom, and get back on track, okay? So, I am back on track. I have started a new abstinence journey, y'all, and it is a journey. You know, it's definitely a journey, but we started over, and this time around, I am staying focused. I'm dedicated. I'm locking in, and we getting her done. We getting her done. I want to be able to, like, it is a goal of mine, and that's why I feel like it's actually going to happen, because God knows my heart. Like, my dream deep down inside is to actually be able to get on here when I share my story, when I share my journey and my testimony about how I got married to the man of my dreams and blah, 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 all this stuff. I want to be able to get on here, and one of the things I want to be able to say is like, hey, we waited. And so I know that it's gonna happen. I know it's coming, and I'm just taking it one day at a time. And to the girl who might keep choosing and you choose wrong every time, I'm gonna say to you, because I'm actually saying it to myself, stop choosing and let God choose. You know, sometimes you gotta let go of the reins. You gotta release stuff. You gotta relinquish control and let God do what he gonna do. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Drop a chat, drop a heart in the comments down below if you made it to the end, and make sure you stay tuned for my next video. All right, bye babes.